Moonshot AI just shipped an open-weight model that runs 300 agents in parallel and claims to match Claude Opus 4.6 and GPT 5.4 on coding. Not a paper. Not a preview. The weights are on Hugging Face tonight. This is the AI signal. Today we're covering that release. The Axios scoop that the US's top cyber agency has been locked out of Anthropic's most powerful model. YouTube arming every famous face on Earth with AI deepfake takedowns. Google quietly turning its ad system into a semi-autonomous media buyer. And the first Arabic leaderboard for large language models. Stay with me. Axios published a scoop this afternoon. CISA, the US government's top cyber defense agency, does not have access to Anthropic's Mythos preview, the company's most powerful offensive security model. Other agencies do. CISA does not. Mythos is the model the industry has been whispering about for weeks. Novel offensive security analysis at a level regulators have privately called unsettling. And the agency whose mandate is defending US infrastructure has been left off the access list. Here's the catch. Anthropic decides who gets Mythos. That means one private lab's distribution preferences are now a live variable in national cyber posture. Whoever's in Anthropic's trust tier gets uplift. Whoever isn't, doesn't. Should private AI labs effectively gatekeep government cyber capability? I'd like to hear where you land before the norm sets. YouTube is expanding its AI likeness detection to celebrities. TechCrunch reports that talent and their reps now get a tool to find and flag AI-generated videos that copy a famous face, then pull them down directly. This is the first platform at YouTube's scale making AI likeness takedowns a first-class feature, not a policy footnote. 2 years ago, deepfakes were a detection problem. Today, they're a takedown problem. The platforms have decided they're not going to fix the generation side. Here's the catch. Famous people get tools. Non-famous people still do not. If your likeness gets cloned and you're not a verified public figure, the old appeal flow is all you have. And it's slow. Where do you think a reasonable baseline for likeness rights actually lies? Platform, law, or insurance? I'm curious. Google rolled out a significant update to Ads Advisor. Per their own blog, the system now handles 3 loops automatically: ad safety pre-checks, creative variation testing, and campaign spend reallocation in near real time. The read between the lines version. Google is doing to media buying what it already did to search keyword bidding, turning it into an agent loop where the human approves the frame and the system runs the interior. Performance Max was step 1. Ads Advisor is step 2. Here's the catch. For small and mid advertisers, this is genuinely useful. For agencies whose margin depends on labor hours, it's structural pressure. Neither side can say that out loud on a launch day. If you buy ads, the new question is, what's your plan B? The first time Ads Advisor's incentives quietly drift away from yours. Tell me what you'd measure to catch that drift. Hugging Face and TAI, the UAE's Technology Innovation Institute, launched Kima, the first Arabic LM leaderboard. Per their blog post, Kima prioritizes translated reasoning, cultural grounding, and dialect coverage over raw token-level benchmarks. Arabic-speaking regions have been getting second-class LM performance for years because most leaderboards are Western English biased. Kima is explicitly built to score what matters for real Arabic users, not for papers. Here's the catch. A region-specific leaderboard is only as good as who takes it seriously. If OpenAI and Google's frontier teams optimize against QMA, the ecosystem shifts fast. If they ignore it, it stays academic. If you deploy LLMs in the MENA region, this is your new benchmark. Which region-specific leaderboard should exist next? Now the release that actually changes the geometry of the week. Moonshot AI, a Beijing lab open-sourced Kimi K 2.6. Per the decoder, the model is built around agent swarms. It can run up to 300 agents in parallel, and it claims benchmark performance competitive with GPT-5.4 and Claude Opus 4.6 on coding heavy tasks. 3 facts the framing hides. 1. The weights are public. You can download them, fine-tune them, and run them on your own infrastructure. 2. 300 parallel agents is not a sales line. It's an architectural commitment. The model was engineered for orchestration from the ground up, not retrofitted. 3. This is a Chinese lab, putting a frontier-class open model on Hugging Face, while the leading US labs have gone the opposite direction, closing their weights tighter every quarter. My read is that the open versus closed debate has quietly become a geopolitical race. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google have bet that moat equals closed weights, plus premium API margin. Moonshot, Mistral, DeepSeek, and a growing roster of non-US labs have bet that moat equals distribution and tool calling adoption. Today's drop puts a serious weapon in the open camp. But here's the catch, and it's not small. Open weight does not mean safe to deploy in enterprise production. Moonshot has not committed to the same model safety disclosures Anthropic has. Running 300 agents in parallel also means 300 simultaneous places where something can go wrong. The ops bar for actually using Kimi K 2.6 in production is much higher than the marketing suggests. If you build on LLMs, test Kimi K 2.6 on the exact workload you'd use Claude or GPT for. Not because it replaces them in month 1. Because the moment you can hit acceptable quality on an open model for a given task, your cost structure changes overnight. The thread running through today is ownership. CISA can't touch Mythos because Anthropic decided the access tier. YouTube can take down celebrity deepfakes because it controls the platform. Google can turn ad buying into an agent loop because it controls the auction. Qmima only matters if major labs agree to be measured by it, and Kimi K 2.6 is on Hugging Face tonight because Moonshot decided you get to own the weights. Every story above is a position on the same question: who owns the layer between human intent and AI output? Anthropic owns it by deciding distribution. YouTube owns it by deciding takedowns. Google owns it by owning the auction. Moonshot is giving it away, and betting adoption is the real moat. 12 to 24 months from now, expect 2 things. Expect at least one regulator to draw a line on model access tiers. The CISA situation is the kind of story that triggers hearings. And expect a major US lab to ship a real open weight release, not a toy. Because the commercial pressure from today's drop is going to be unignorable by the next funding round. My read: open weights do not win every market, but they change the ceiling of what closed labs can charge. Today's release just shifted that ceiling down. Whether the frontier closed labs respond with lower prices, open weights of their own, or even tighter control is the question to watch for the next 2 quarters. What do you think? Does Kimi K 2.6 actually change your stack in the next 90 days? Or is it the next round of open source hype that doesn't stick? I want the honest answer. That's the signal. I'll see you tomorrow.